Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Belon Huang, an undergraduate of Media and Culture Studies at Lancaster University in the UK. For those who haven't watched my videos before, I'm really glad that you're watching this video today. On my channel, I help you summarize books and talks mainly from TED in a simple, concise way so that you can easily understand the most important bits of them, as well as provide you tips on creating a quality of life that leads to a successful and contented way of life. In this video, we're going to look at a talk from Robbie Lord Jonathan Sacks called How We Can Face the Future Without Fear Together, with 3 short and simple but important lessons in it. Let's get started. In his talk, Sacks suggests, nowadays, we're being bombarded with extreme values and ideas in numerous areas of life. For example, in religion and politics, which may make us feel disturbed, anxious, and frightened. Hence, in order not to feel disturbed, anxious, and frightened, we need to first put ourselves aside. What does that mean? That is, in Sacks' words, if we were to study the human race from an objective perspective, it is apparent that now the individual is being liberated more than ever before, as the world sees the rise of individual rights in legislation and bookstores flooded with books about self-help and self-esteem. And this is great. It's liberating, it's empowering, it's wonderful, he says. However, at the end of the day, we're social animals in need of face-to-face interaction, which helps us to establish friendship, trust, loyalty, and love. An excessive focus on self would only leave us with vulnerability, fear, and loneliness. Therefore, to secure our future, Sacks argues, we need to start with improving these 3 areas: relationship, identity, and responsibility. It is the people not like us that make us grow. The problem with social media and nowcasting, Sacks maintains, is that they surround us with people who are just like us and narrow down sources of information to those who we only want to hear from. As an effect, not only do we become more extreme, but at the same time, we lose the chance to realize how we can disagree strongly, yet remain friends.
Girls, 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 glitter, 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 twirls, 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 together forever. We're Linda and Heather, best friends.
In doing so, we would also realize that people who appear to be different from us are actually not that different. As for identity, the problem we face now, says Sacks, is that before in the West, people used to tell stories about who they are and where they came from. But now, people aren't doing it anymore, and that's not good, considering the wave of immigrants moving into the West. When stories are told, identity will be strengthened. Hence, when stories are not told, identity couldn't be strengthened, and one feels threatened by the unfamiliar. It is merely by telling stories that we'll feel strong enough to embrace the stranger and share our culture, virtues, and ideals. There's one American phrase which Sacks really likes. It is, we the people, as it renders the notion that all of us are equally responsible for shaping our future. And in this world that is divided between this person for president or that person for president, the far right and the far left, the religious and the anti-religious, it is clear that people have forgotten the only people who can save us is we, the people. Lastly, Sacks offers a simple suggestion, which may hopefully, as he says, change our life and the world. Namely, to conduct a search and replace operation on the text of your mind, in which whenever we encounter the word self, we would switch it to other. By doing so, Sacks contends, we can then feel the power of this quote. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. When we know we will not face the future alone, we can then face it without fear. Indeed, what Sacks suggests in his talk is truly important to us, as knowing how to tolerate the differences of others and accept one another may well be considered as one of the vital elements of our happiness and well-being. In addition, especially in today's world, it is way too easy to find another person who shares a different idea from ours, which might annoy, irritate, or even divide us. Nonetheless, despite these differences in ideas and beliefs, such like what sex argues, the way in which we believe may well only differ ever so slightly, since all of us are humans who are not that different after all. Furthermore, simultaneously as we recognize the indifferences between us and others, it is equally important to be aware of the fact that all of us have our own unique history and culture which are held nearly and dearly.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
More than that, beyond learning to tolerate others and their beliefs, we should also try to sympathize with them as we ask why and how they may feel, think, and act that way, even if it is something that we disagree with. Through this open-minded and accepting mindset, what may initially be something that irritates us now acts as a chance for us to examine, learn, and expand our horizons. On top of that, in regard to what Sachs states, the only people who will save us from ourselves is we, the people, all of us together. I believe via this type of mindset, not only are we able to minimize conflict and hostility, we're also able to explore and grow together. That's to say, in a practical sense, observe how others approach things and reflect it on ourselves to see what we can learn or how we can improve ourselves based on what we just see. Differences is what underpins diversity across cultures and societies around the world. And it is precisely what makes the world as interesting and fascinating as it is. Concurrently, on a more personal, intimate scale, differences is what we can use to learn from each other, just as how it has the power to bind us together. That's it for today, peeps. Comment below if you have any ideas or thoughts about either sex talk or any suggestions or improvements I can make for the channel. Thank you so much for your support as well as watching this video, and don't forget to turn on notifications and subscribe to my channel for more self-growth and improvement videos. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye bye.